My name is Scott Stallone. I own and operate Found Sound Recording in Philadelphia, PA. I'm a songwriter, producer, mix engineer. Welcome to my home. You know, this is basically the mix room, production room, writing room. I've got a development room next door with a couple of guys who I've signed as artists. Jeremy Isaac works out of that room. His co-writer and our next artist named Tommy, a female R&B artist. Great. Erica Gibson is another artist that I'm working with and developing. Very much more eclectic electro-pop. We do a lot of co-writing and for other stuff and whatnot. People count on me to keep their material. You know, I'm amazed at how few artists actually take their records with them as data, as the source. So one of the things I do is I do a physical drag and drop to 3 separate drives. So there's my work drive, which is a Glyph all the time, and then my backup drives. Everything's on site right now, but I'm planning on doing it off site. With the Glyph drives that I've had, I actually had one go underwater in a flood. It was in the Manayunk section of Philadelphia. There's this old mill town, and it's built on a river, and you go up the hill, and that's where all the housing is, and that's where I had my studio. So it was up this hill, it was a terrible rainstorm, and a water main broke, and the water found this little pool, which happened to be my backyard. So I had finished a record. It was Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. Actually, it was a Jedi Mind Tricks record. I'd literally just copied the entire record over to their drives. So Vin and his manager Jan walk out of the place with their record. Everything's good. I crash. Was living in the studio. A couple hours later, I hear this awful sound, and it's like things falling over, crashing to the ground, and I thought it was a dream. I get out of bed, put my foot down in like 1.5 feet of water. I race into the studio, and I start unhooking the drives, you know, and they're underwater at this point. And I look down the hall, and there's water spraying out of the top of the door, like the whole length of the door, and it's just, I'm like, this is really not good. And I still wasn't really sure what happened, and by the time I realized it, the door had broken wide open. This wall of water came rushing down the hallway, and I'm looking at it, and then it just covered me, all my gear. I literally swam for my life to get out of that studio, and I left the drives and got out of there and salvaged what I could hours later when the water receded. But the Glyph drive made it through. I spent $8,000 recovering all the data on the drives that weren't Glyph drives, but the Glyph wasn't an issue. It was just like under warranty. This is what we do, no problem. From that point on, I decided I would never cut on anything besides a Glyph drive.